Well, good morning. Again, we have another episode of, what's the name of the program?
Guess Way Jose.
Oh, sometimes I forget. Oh, I don't forget. It's got my name in it. I feel so special. Well, good morning again. We want you guys to know, first of all, we always have different guests on. I got a really exciting guest today because this guy is about food.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got some good food. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I just want to make sure you all know, every time we start our episodes, we want people to know, please, we have an email address that maybe that they can go to.
YesWayJosemail@gmail.com.
Look at you.
I figured I'd let him have it this time.
Well, because he hasn't done anything. He's not even here half the time.
I don't like to steal the glory all the time.
Okay, Eli, very good job. We're going to try to extend your contract for at least a week.
Yeah. I think he's deserved it.
He doesn't deserve it at all. I don't know about that, but he's just inconsistent. He's having trouble with the technical part of this thing. What is the value piece? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's not do that today. Anyway, good morning again. This is the Yes Way Jose program, and of course, I'm Jose.
You are. Last I checked.
I did check. I checked again this morning.
Okay.
I think I'm still Jose, and I think I'm still the mayor.
I think.
We'll
see. When's the next city council meeting?
Yeah, no kidding. We'll get that all checked out here. But anyway, so we have a great guest for you. But I want to make sure just one more plug. I've always been putting out in this last couple of episodes things about Field of Grace. We have a Field of Grace church here in town. Great parish. They've been doing a lot of great things in the city. I just want to know today they're actually doing a first responders recognition. They've done great things this week. I'm in the park last night. Development did some projects in the city park Tuesday. They did a food drive Wednesday, and then they did landscape work at the schools. I can't tell you, thank you, EJ, for your team and the passion and love that you have for the community. So great partnership there. We obviously had a number of people come on our show that we talk a lot about these shakers and movers. But one thing happened, I think it was right when I started here. I had one of the employees here. Her name is Holly. And Holly said, hey, would the city ever think about doing this thing? And before I say any more, I've got a gentleman named Troy King here with the Food Truck Invasion, but I'm going to tell a little story before I let him tell about himself, is that Holly said, hey, would you guys think about doing like a food truck thing? I said, well, what is that? Well, they bring some food trucks and people get to try some different things. I said, okay. So then we got to meet this gentleman. So I'm going to say good morning, Troy King.
Good morning. Good morning.
And so I'm going to let him, because again, we had an employee that was thinking that this could be something good for us. And I can tell you, it's been really good for us in so many different ways. And I think it's a great event for the city. We do it twice a year. But Troy, good morning to you. And he's a celebrity. I was going to get his autograph. Would you just sign my shirt?
He's the king of food trucks.
He's the king of food
trucks. That's where the last name comes from.
Yeah. So anyway, Troy, if you want to introduce yourself to the group, talk about yourself a little bit. Good morning, sir.
Oh, man. Talk about myself a little bit.
You could be like Jose and try that. It's really easy for me to do.
Yeah, I'm going to put my Jose hat on. Yeah, I'm Troy King. Been food trucking since 2014, me and my wife. And
the princess.
Yeah.
We have the princess is in charge.
That's the boss.
The boss.
Actually, our 8-year-old who has her own food truck as well. But
your 8-year-old has a food truck?
Yeah.
She's in charge. Yeah. She's a wonderful little lady. I love
What kind of food truck is it?
So she does, it's called Addison's Treat Shop. Sometimes I borrow it to do my food, and she makes sure that she lets me know that she's letting me borrow it.
Do you have to give her a cut?
No, so we don't want her to hear that.
So can I listen to that?
Because she is all about the money. So
that's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, hers is actually the most modern one in our fleet. So,
wow.
Oh yeah.
So 14, you started this. Now look at it today, 10 years later, Troy.
Yeah, and it's all because of my wife. I mean, I came here and I was just like setting up a tent with a Blackstone grill and a cooler, and I was just cooking whatever and selling whatever, and making sure the health department didn't find me.
Yeah. That'll have to be edited. That will have to be edited.
And so,
Troy King, have you seen Troy King?
And the flea off market, which is in Louisville, they gave me my first official shot, and so then I was just cooking in a tent, my Blackstone and my cooler, and then I met my wife, and my wife was helping me, and she was being a really, really good girlfriend, but I could tell she did not like it. She's an accountant by trade.
Yeah.
And
she's like, why were you in a tent?
Yeah. And we were coming back from a trip in Atlanta, and she was like, you need to get a food truck. And I was like, I don't want a food truck. Then I got to pay taxes, and I got to be official and all that. And she was like, I'll buy it. And I was like, what? And I was like, no. By the time we got to Chattanooga, I had changed my mind, and I was like, all right. And so we turned around, went to Florida, and special ordered a food truck. And then June 27th, I think, of 2014 is when we started with our first food truck. And then we got our second one. We took a 40-foot TARC bus. It's same as a TARC bus, but it was an Orlando airport shuttle bus.
Okay.
And,
Oh, wow.
I brought it back here, and we built it ourselves into a food truck. And so, yeah, we've had a lot of trial and tribulations. We've had a whole food truck stolen.
Oh, really?
man.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I would imagine that would be a problem. You see, when your restaurant has wheels.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. I got to the commissary, didn't see my truck or trailer. It was a Ford Excursion pulling a trailer. Called my wife and was like, hey, did you repossess my trailer or something? And she's like, no, I don't drive that thing. And so ended up it was stolen, was recovered like a year later.
Wow.
I was driving down Preston and I seen someone driving my truck.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Police came, got him, and all that. But so now my wife works full time with us, and she runs her own accounting firm where she specializes in accounting for food trucks and restaurants.
I was about to say, it probably helps to have a wife that's an accountant. Like
That,
does
that would help.
accounting.
The
Yeah.
numbers part is good. The thing with Troy that we've really loved about it is because this is a story that I haven't even heard. All right.
Oh,
So
okay.
we talk a lot about his passion for food, but you had a brick and mortar.
Yes. So we had Six Forks Burger Company. We started in
Burgers are
2019.
good. Oh my God.
And then COVID hit, and our main goal was to just keep our employees employed.
Right.
So we stuck through it. Then we moved to another location, and we did that for, I want to say 4 or 5 years, but man, it was a monster.
Yeah.
Doing that and the food trucks. And so we finally shut down Six Forks, I want to say about 4 or 5 months ago, but we kept the building. And we turned that restaurant into 2 separate restaurants, and then we rented them out to some people who.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's a bagel shop inside of there on one side, and then there's a Mexican restaurant on the other
see?
side.
There you go. Yeah.
Breakfast and lunch.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good combo.
The reason why we've invited Troy to come out here because of the impact and the partnership we have in Shepherdsville. Because when we first, as I mentioned, Holly, I'd like to give her a little credit. She'd better be listening to this. I'm going to force her to listen to this episode so she gets her props.
Yes.
But when we were talking to Troy and we started all this, we just was kind of idea. What we've seen from what Troy has done in the years. Not only is he talking about his freestanding building, he had brick and mortar, but he had the 2 trucks, and then all of a sudden now he is the president or CEO or king of the Food Truck Association in Louisville. And how many trucks are in that association?
Right now we're
Roughly?
looking at about 72.
Oh, wow.
So 72 food trucks are involved in that. And so what we get the privilege of is at least having 25, 27 food trucks that actually come into 2 different events here in Shepherdsville. And I can tell you, sometimes they don't like the mayor, but they sure love the food that comes in on those 2
Yeah.
events.
I guarantee it.
We had the one in May, and we have our next one for everybody on this podcast. This is what you want to write down. September the 29th, 12 to 5. It's going to be in the park, and it's going to be because what Troy has given us one of the nicest compliments. Because a lot of people, Troy and I were talking. I guess we're not sure about this Shepherdsville thing because we haven't done anything like that. So it's really the unknown as much as are you going to see that diversity of all the different foods? Because when you see this thing, I mean, if there's food from all over the world, and it's great to see these folks. They got great stories.
Sure. Everyone has a story.
Isn't that, Troy, when we talk a lot about that, we said, when I see him on that food truck, I don't leave him alone. It's like he needs, Jose, don't you have somewhere else to go? No, I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with you. Because I get to hear all the stories from him.
Yes.
But it's really a cool piece about America. And if you want to do something in this world, and you're the symbol of that, I think then in my relationship with you, Troy, I see that. And he's taken it to this next level. And that's what's really cool about the Food Truck Association. It's great food, a good story, and it's been a good impact in our community. People love it here.
Yeah, I've heard it's been a big success. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. You've done a number of them now, but
Yeah. And I mean, I might get in trouble for this, but Shepherdsville has been the most successful. Our first one was in Hillview, which was phenomenal. We couldn't believe the support, and everyone was telling me like, oh man, you don't want to go to those rural cities,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like food trucks out there. And I
I
don't
like
know.
any food.
Yeah.
I did it anyway, and I didn't know. And what we found out is that the rural communities are more close knit, so they
Yeah.
support their own stuff even more.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Shepherdsville is kind of like this. I don't know.
In the crucible kind of experiment.
Yeah, so the thing that I like about Shepherdsville is you got people who will come from Louisville
Yeah.
to Shepherdsville
Right,
because
yeah.
Shepherdsville, everyone's like, oh, it's so far. It's not really
It's
that
15,
far.
20 minutes
Yeah, it's
from
not
yeah.
far.
Yeah. And then, but the cool thing is the other side of Shepherdsville.
Right, yeah.
You got E-Town. You got Radcliffe. So
Bardstown,
those people,
yeah.
and a lot of those people, they don't want to come into Louisville.
No, yeah.
No.
Those people live that far away for a reason.
Yeah. They don't want to come into Louisville, but they'll come to Shepherdsville.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I love that I see all of these dichotomies. I judge people by their clothing. So I see people wearing hip hop clothes. I see the cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I
Little bit
see
of
the
everything.
country
Oh, yeah.
wear, and I'm
Yeah.
like, man, this is like
Tell a
the
melting pot.
Plenty of
best
cowboy
type of
boots. around
melting
here.
A lot of
pot.
cut-off T-shirts. We got a lot of those around here.
Well,
Hey,
hey, the cowboy boots with the cutoff shorts.
It's all good. It's a lot of fun because we know we don't have like the most scientific numbers. We just try to kind of track, but we can be pretty comfortable saying that there's between 4,000 and 5,000 people that come to this event between that 12 and 5 time.
Sure.
We obviously have we try to bring the local margaritas. Margaritas good too. Go good with food, and then we have local breweries we're trying to bring in. So we try to bring in some local folks along with the food. I mean, I tell you, if you just spend a little time talking to some of these vendors, I mean, everybody loves Raymond. It's always when it comes up, and then Mr. Cheesecake. Ooh,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Cheesecake.
Mr.
Oh my.
Yeah, Mr. Cheesecake, he creates problems for me because people come, they're not really don't want to really come to the invasion. They just want to come
They just want
Mr.
the
Cheesecake.
cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like trying to get him to open early and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you can't do that.
it's
Other
funny.
food trucks are going to get mad at me,
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there's people that come and it's tea time.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
the same way.
yeah.
People come just to get stuff to go.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
But the other
That's
thing
how you know you're doing good, though.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Other thing I love about the food truck, me being a small business, I mean, I just maybe this year, maybe last year, started considering myself a chef, even though I create all the menus. I really am like a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
If there's money to be made, I'm looking to make it. And what I wanted to also bring in was like these other small businesses, because I remember when I just had that tent.
Right.
And so that's the other thing I like about the Invasions is we have other vendors that may not even have anything to do with food, but they can come, and because we have that audience of people coming for food, now they get that exposure as well.
Right.
Like we have a 16-year-old that makes her own jewelry.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah.
and she's very, very successful and popular. And then we also try to make it where we focus on local, because we call it an invasion. We don't want it to be like, oh man, only Louisville trucks are coming in. So
Right,
the
yeah.
Louisville food trucks, we make them pay to be there. It's only like $40 or $50. But the local trucks, we allow them to be there for free.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And we have a good 6 to 8 that are local
Yeah.
trucks here that people know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah, J-Mo's
J-Mo's.
is
Yeah.
probably the most
J-Mo's,
popular.
yeah.
Yeah. Get Fired
Yeah.
Pizza.
and the barbecue.
Smoke,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
smoke over fire. Yeah,
so
they're
good job,
always
too.
there.
Yeah, so we have a lot of these type. That's really good way to support, and it's a great time to. And they're starting to see. What I've started seeing the dynamic is they're starting to be more present in different locations. I think they've got to work on the marketing piece. That's no offense to the food truck invasion, or food trucks that are here locally. But I'll see them pop up different places, and I think there could be a big push that maybe even the city could help with. Hey, on Mondays it's this
Yeah.
day, right, at City Hall, or it's at the Fiscal Court Building on Tuesdays. So we got to be able to try to get
Yeah, if you had a schedule, people would already just kind of
already know.
Yeah.
So we're going to work with that, helping that, because I think the great food. I tell you what, I mean, they really do a good job on the food, and this is including obviously the other ones from Louisville. The ones from Louisville I thought were great because they had the diversity piece, and we all love different food, but we don't even know some food we love until we try it.
Sure.
So-
The beautiful thing, one of the biggest things. I mean, so my wife is white, so we're interracial.
Me too. It's fine.
We're an interracial couple, and so I mean, we call our children milkshakes.
I
I
like that.
So
I like that. That's good.
And so the thing is that I wanted a lot of diversity, but not just the black and white diversity,
Right.
but like we have
Renta.
a Colombian truck, we
Yes.
have a Venezuelan truck.
Honduras? Do we have Honduras? Is it Honduras or Ecuador?
I
which one?
think Honduran.
I think it's Honduras.
Yeah.
Really good story.
I mean, we got trucks from all over, the
Middle
world
East.
right now. We have an African truck,
okay.
and so that was one of my biggest things. Because when food trucking first started, it really was just like hamburgers and
Yeah.
hot dogs and all
Yeah.
of that. And the biggest thing is barbecue. Like we got probably 10 barbecue trucks.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I want some diversity, and I know it's out there.
Right.
We just got to find it. And so I actually started soliciting trucks and saying, hey, listen, become a member of the association. I got rid of the dues, so there's no dues, and we're going to help you get exposure. At the same time, you're going to help us because we can say that we're diversified.
Right, yeah.
And I like that. So. I mean, we've got Thai truck, we got a Filipino truck.
I mean, Middle Eastern. We had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Al Prince. They're from Syria.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and they just opened a restaurant.
I don't know if I've ever had
on
Middle
Poplar
Eastern
level.
food.
It's real. Oh,
Is
Yeah.
it
I
good?
don't think I haven't.
Yeah. So that was one of the biggest things was just, and then women owned trucks as well. I'm really, really proud that we have a lot of women owned trucks, and we have a woman owned truck, who she's been probably the longest running food truckers. Booties Get It on a Bun.
Booties on. Get it on a bun.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Her last name is Boudier.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That
okay,
works.
yeah.
And they're from Louisiana, or originally.
Yeah.
The husband's from Louisiana,
Uh-huh.
but she's been food trucking for over 20 some years. And it's called Booties Get It on a Bun.
Oh, I love that name.
Yeah, I like
love
that name.
that.
Yeah, that's a name that you go up and you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'll take
What
a
do you
booty.
get?
I'll take a booty on a bun.
Yeah, but she's a
love
board.
it.
She's one of the founding members and a board member, and so it's really, really cool that like we have someone that's I'd say high echelon that's woman owned, and so now women own food trucks, because women owned food trucks are a different dichotomy, or food trucking. You got to be like a MacGyver.
Yeah.
Like I tell people all the time, the best thing on my truck is my duct tape.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because if I have a leak, I can
Things are
duct tape
breaking
it.
everywhere.
If I
Just
need
get
to
the-
stick something up, I can duct tape it. And so, female, you're dealing with 300-pound generators, 150-pound generators. And so when I see females out there getting it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
man, they, that's a special type of female. And even like my wife, like now she knows how to drive a truck and trailer. She drove a truck and trailer all the way from here to New Orleans.
Oh,
wow.
wow, yeah.
Yeah, and now she only likes big trucks.
Yeah.
So
Converted.
So that was one of the biggest things is, and the thing about food trucking, a lot of people don't recognize and realize it's usually your second career.
Yeah.
There's no one that
Right.
came out of college and was like, hey, I
want a food truck.
want to be a food truck.
Yeah.
Although now, me and my wife just went to the first food truck conference in Houston, Texas.
Oh, wow.
This about 3 weeks ago. And so now food trucking is where, like, my daughter is probably going to be a food trucker.
Yeah.
I mean, she likes to sell food, and she likes the money. And so
Money's good.
Yeah, the money's good.
Do you see a lot of people getting into like the food truck business that like they had local restaurants that got shut down during COVID, or they had to like, what I mean?
Yes,
Because
yeah.
I would imagine that would be kind of a less costly way to get into the.
Oh, it's so much less costly. So we have a trucker. I don't really know them personally, but we talk. But their truck is called Frickle Pickle. Well, they used to.
I love these names.
Yeah.
They used to own a restaurant that's really popular called Jenny's Diner.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So now they're back in the food game,
Oh, okay.
but on the food truck
Oh,
side.
cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, the cool thing about food trucking is, like, you're really, like, to be honest, I have no formal training.
Right.
I cook what I like to eat and hope
telling you.
you like it.
I'm going to tell you, those burgers, I'm telling you, just Food Truck Invasion.
I need to try one. I haven't tried
You got to
one
do it, man. It's a great burger.
What's your truck called?
So I have Fried Daddies.
Fried
Daddies.
Yeah.
Fried Daddies.
Yeah. And I break, like, that's one of the reasons why I never really consider myself a chef is because I break so many rules. Like, I don't wear an apron. I don't wear a chef
Just turn
coat.
this mic down.
I don't, I wear Nike Gore-Tex shoes instead of the chef shoes.
Not the slip resistant.
No Crocs. No Crocs.
And for a long time, I consider myself like, oh man, I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to be a part of that group, but I don't want to be disrespectful or anything because I don't do any of those.
They're higher than you.
And now and I got invited to this event called Bourbon and Beyond. Bourbon and Bowties.
Oh yeah.
And it's like 60 chefs, and I was like, so I guess I am a chef,
Yeah, well,
and my wife has been
right
telling
here.
me for everything all the time.
I got to tell you, the one nice little piece in this is that Troy's got this. You hear it, just a fun loving about food. But let me tell you, he runs a very good organization. I can tell you, if you're part of his team and he tells you to be on time, you guys couldn't be part of it. Sorry about that. Didn't want to put you guys out. But, I mean, he's got real rules. I mean, it's like it don't play. It's the food truck. And what he does is he makes those rules for everybody, and the ones that follow it are the ones that are going to be part of this. You'll find out very quickly how serious you are, because you need that organization.
Sure.
I mean, because the one thing I say about this food truck invasion we put on twice a year, it's really not a lot of work for the city. I mean, you got them all lined up. We've got a few vendors out there. We've got some local breweries and stuff that we put out there. But I'm telling you, I mean, it's a lot of work.
I don't know.
We got our piece.
You guys got a rock star too now.
Oh, Amber.
Odie.
Amber's all over it. And I tell you, and the thing of it is, that part is right. But what I mean by that is, the structure of the setup there. He's got everybody doing what they need to do. They're on time. They're ready to go. We got our piece that we do. And that's why this event, I think, goes so well.
Sure.
Is because it's ready to go. Everybody's prepared. And I like it. And Troy and I talk about this a lot. We really want those people to go, hey, one of those two events in Shepherdsville, let me put it on my calendar.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want. Because and I think that's what Troy and I every time I see Troy, he knows I'm going to hug him first. And then the second thing is, hey, we're back in Shepherdsville. Because it is. And we really feel like we've got a great relationship. I think this is going to be fun, not just for these two, but anything else we can do. We support Troy because his vision. We talk about vision. We've had other guests on the show. We talk about our vision for the city, but your vision for food trucks is really very unique and very cool. Great stories, and I love it. He's not like loud like Jose. He's very calm.
Most people aren't.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. But Troy has a great passion, and it oozes out of him about what he wants to see folks. Because he's not just rooting for him; he's rooting for every one of those food trucks.
Most definitely. So I tell people. A lot of people ask me, like, so what's your job?
Mm-hmm.
And to sum it up, my job is to put food truckers in a position to make money.
Right. Yeah. Help them be successful.
That's my job.
Yeah.
And I do everything in my power to protect the food truckers too, because I mean, sometimes they do get taken advantage of,
Or they get a truck stolen.
That
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty well.
That, and sometimes a host will be like, oh yeah, we're going to have 1,000 people there.
Yeah.
And it's like, only 100 people show up.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest stress is when a food truck doesn't make money.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest stress.
I make a point of staying there the whole time, and then I try to make sure at the end of it, I like to go by every one of them and say, hey, how was it for you today? And we get like 95. I mean, there every once in a while say, I did okay. But I mean, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 really say, hey, we had a good day.
Yeah.
And it's great. And we want to do that. I want to throw a little twist in here because, Troy doesn't even know this. What I'd like to do with this, we talk about diversity of food. I'd like to have it every hour a different kind of music.
Oh, yeah.
To check,
Sure.
just so I want, again, where we know once you try some of this wonderful food across the world, but again, diversity is a big piece for me. It always has been in my life. I grew up in Fort Knox. It's a melting pot from all over the world when you're talking about the military. And a lot of times in good communities like ours, we have a great community doing good things. They're all shakers and movers. But I'd love to be able to keep looking at different cultures and looking at things that really make it kind of nice. Because I grew up listening to Spanish music every Saturday. And I know where I learned not to sing because my dad, well, he was a better singer than me, but I don't sing very well at all. But we listened to that music every Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. We just want people to know that this community is growing in so many ways, and it's going to continue to grow that way.
Sure.
And we see that with the things that we're building here, our events that we put on with you, and then the Whiskey, Wine, and Ale event that we put on as well did really well. So we got Oktoberfest, so we're just kind of tinkering with a little bit. This year's not going to be that much going on with it, but we think down the road we'd like to have those 4 big events in the park. We're going to have concerts when we get the amphitheater built, so we're going to have so much of that with the food trucks as well. So you've got a great lineup of folks. I love you, Troy King, and I'll say that on this spot anytime.
I love the mayor too.
He's got a great attitude. He brings a lot to us. He's brought a lot of things. The stories are really the big thing. I keep pounding on that, but your story is the best story, and I think that you've done a great job with it. We appreciate you being here. You're going to be on this program again, buddy. We're going to bring you back, and I've done some TV spots with him, and he is the celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just the help. When I show up with Troy King on one of these TV spots, I'm like, you just sit over there. You just sit over there. You just.
That's
the
just
king.
the mayor.
The king is here. King Trump's mayor, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I think King Trump's mayor. I think he does.
It's the food. I mean,
it's the food, but it's great.
You know, everyone loves anyone
Yeah,
that provides you
that's true.
with food.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to make somebody be your friend. Cook for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you.
That's how I got my wife. I cooked her
There you
chili.
go. Yeah, there you go.
That's how that worked. But Troy, we appreciate you being on the show, buddy. We really we love it. And by the way, you see my shirt, I love peace and chicken grease. Well, he's got one too, and I almost called him last night. Said, hey, you think about maybe wearing that
Could have
tomorrow?
twinsy.
We could have twinsed it up today. But I will tell you, we have a great time with these events, and I do. I am so glad that I've met you, and then I love your story and all the stories you love to tell. We got so many big things happening in this community,
Sure.
and thank you for being a partner. And we love you, buddy, and I appreciate everything you're doing. We'll have you back. And now, we always end the show with 1, 2, 3. It's going to be Love, Peace, Chicken Grease. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Love, peace, chicken grease.